Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Good evening to you all. I would like to welcome you, warmly welcome you, and express my pleasure and honor to be here this afternoon to share with you these few moments of reflection on philanthropy. But before that, I would like to thank my brother Ibrahim Sall. Ibrahim Sall, who is an African who is always on reflecting, researching, and thinking forward. Ibrahim, congratulations again for this new milestone that you are setting. On behalf of our continent, congratulations to you. Congratulations also to Professor Soho.
What you tell us right now, it's a very, very, very important on this critical issue about philanthropy. Thank you. Alors,
I was far from imagining that as a Minister of Foreign Affairs and Senegalese abroad, I would be here today to talk about philanthropy. And when, through my uncle Abda, who I would like to say hello to, Ibrahim told me that we are going to do the 4th edition of African Philanthropy here in Senegal, and we would like you to come and accompany us. I asked myself, what am I going to say there? And as time went on, I was thinking, and I asked myself, why not? The intellectual, the African, should be able to talk about everything when it's of concern. And this issue is of interest to all of us. For me, first of all, I had written a speech, but I'm not going to read it because I found that it was too academic for the people I see here. I will give it to you for your archives. But I told myself, what are we going to say about philanthropy? First of all, I thought, well, philanthropy is about generosity. But I told myself, no, that's not it. I think that philanthropy is not about generosity. Philanthropy is not goodness. For me, philanthropy is when you feel the duty to do something with what you have. It is an obligation, but a voluntary obligation. So you see, these are contracting terms. In obligation, you have the duty. In a voluntary, you have free choice. So you have to bring the two together in order to get to philanthropy. There are many people who think that they are generous, but they are not philanthropists. You know why? It is because they think that by giving, they're pleasing them. It's for their pleasure, really. They're giving. By giving, they want to reflect a certain image of themselves. But philanthropy, you give because it is a duty for you to give here and now. And I try to find out whether we have examples of great philanthropists that could inspire us. Yes, of course, there are. Especially in the U.S., the Vanderbilts and all of that who built their fortunes, the Rockefellers, they were not doing it just for money. They were also doing it to give meaning to their lives. That is exactly what Baba Mal sang earlier on. Do things whilst you are alive, because when you are dead, that is what we will be celebrating. That is philanthropy, is saying that in my life, it is not just about eating and eating what I want. It is not only about being, once you finish eating, so what? What happens next? Is it only by eating and leisure activities? You need commitment, voluntary commitment in your life. A commitment because you have to do things even if you do not take any profit from it. For me, that is philanthropy. So if we want to see philanthropy as a voluntary duty to do things, then from that moment, 4 words should come to our mind in order to construct, to build philanthropy. The first word that should come to our mind is, first of all, power. And that it's power, there's policies, there are people, and there are practices. Those are the 4 Ps. Now, power as the one that should organize things. Why? Because in the beginning, we thought that the government can do everything. That's what we call the provident state, not so. But we realize that the state cannot do everything. It cannot do much, in fact, because it has its limits. So when the state is limited, because those who design the state, the actors of the state, the people themselves, take the relay, take the baton and do things on behalf of the state. When these great givers were organizing themselves with their billions, they did not ask the U.S. government what they thought about it. These were the Henry Fords, the Vanderbilts, all of these people for whom every day we're reading about their history, their stories, in order to inspire from their lives. So power is important. We have to know that state cannot do it all, and we have to accompany in order to prolong the activities and even go beyond its actions. The second P, that is policies. Policies are imagined as a series of rules that are going to accompany and organize philanthropy. When in the so-called developed states, you want to take your wealth and give because you are a philanthropist, you are exempted from paying tax. You are exempted from so many things that you had to do as a citizen. But you are no longer an ordinary citizen because you are a philanthropist. So the duties that of a normal citizen, ordinary citizen, you are exempted from that. The state should know that, and we should start from now to start organizing the framework, the regulatory framework under which philanthropy should work. Because we have to admit that our countries are not used to that. We therefore need a corpus of rules that support philanthropy, that come and lay the foundation for philanthropy. That is the second P, which I believe is very important. The third is people. People in this culture of philanthropy that they should adopt. Many of us can be philanthropists, and you do not have to be rich, to be wealthy, to be a philanthropist. Philanthropy is a way of thinking, is a way of life. Ibrahim, you gave us an example that is very illustrative. When someone tells you thank you, you say in Wolof jërëjëf, you say ñoko bok. In ñoko bok, there is a spirit of philanthropy that is so natural that the person is not doing it just to make themselves be seen. They do it because it is natural for them to do what they are doing. It is a voluntary duty for them. So teach philanthropy. Go beyond what you are doing right now. Tell people who have the instinct or feeling of philanthropy in them how to awaken this so that they can do more philanthropic acts. And I'm sure here in Africa, our land is very fertile in that regard. It is our culture, it is our civilization. We women know that in order to bring children into the world, to carry them in our bellies, to nourish them, take care of them, we know what philanthropy, natural philanthropy, is all about. And we have to teach that, we have to say it and say it out loud. And the other P is practice. Practice is saying that philanthropy is a model. Of course, the thief that becomes wealthy is not a philanthropy. So we should not consider such as a philanthropy. That is the bad philanthropy. They have they do not do it because it is a voluntary duty. So practices and the best practices of philanthropy we have to emulate, to know who is giving, how they're giving, and where they take what they're giving, where they have taken what they're taking. So philanthropy doesn't go without ethics and without moral values. It cannot go without ethical and moral values. You have to have clean hands, earn your life and be a philanthropist, or be a thief to become a philanthropist. I will say no, we shouldn't accept that. So teach the best practices of philanthropy. I think that is very important. And for that reason, when Ibrahim, you said that you have an award that you call African Philanthropy Lifetime Award, Lifetime Award Achieved. I think that is very important because it celebrates models. It award. It's really we need such these things. We need it even more. Like I said earlier, each one of us has their way of being. It can be a philanthropist without being a billionaire that we are admiring from afar. So for me, those 4 P's inspire philanthropy for me, the power, so that they understand they cannot do everything. Everybody has to do something, and we are all philanthropists. Policies, because we have to develop frameworks for philanthropy to work in a secure environment and normative framework. People, because they have to know that they have to take philanthropy forward, celebrate it, and best practice so as to put ethics at the center of philanthropy. Those, for me, are the 4 P's that philanthropy inspire in me. And by saying so, I wanted to also say that I was very happy to be here with you this afternoon, to hear what you, Ibrahim, Professor Soko, said. Certainly, this evening I will have another idea of what is philanthropy. This evening I will even ask myself, how can I be an active philanthropist based on what I heard here today? And of course, celebrate the musicians, artists that are here with you, because they are the ones who can move philanthropy forward. Philanthropy for me also is about courage, courage to have a commitment, to do things well, the courage to say, like I said earlier, we do things because we have to do them. We do not do it so because we are expecting something in return. We are expecting money in return, but we do it because it is our duty to do it, because it is something that we have to do here and now. We do it because when we do not do it, we have missed something in our lives. And what we want is to transform the lives of others based on from our own lives, to work for others using resources that with our beliefs, doing things based on what we have, doing things because we believe in them, because we have to do things because we want to. That is philanthropy. Thank you very much for your lessons today.